So we're back out on the West Highland Way for a wee quick overnight again, time poor, but also a test of a new tent, which I'll show you in just a minute. So this is the Lightwave S20, which is a 2-man tent, single skin, breathable, and you can see it comes in at 1.7 kilograms, including pegs, poles, bags, and the tent.
Hello, that's your pillows.
So it comes with 12 pegs, 1 pole, repair sleeve, and nothing else, no instructions, no repair kit in terms of patches and anything like that. So we'll just have to see how we get on pitching it, but hopefully it should be straightforward. Once you've got the 2 main poles in, it's just a case of feeding in the cross pole across here. And hopefully I've done this in the right order, or this may turn out to be a bit of a mire. Let's see how it goes. In actual fact, that was easy. It might have been harder putting all 3 poles in and then trying to erect it. So probably best to do the 2 crossing poles and then add the short one after the tent is up.
Can't wait to put that one in.
So despite the overall size of the tent, the door itself is quite small and sits very low. So you have to do a fair amount of stooping to get into it. I'll tie these back and show you. It has 2 tie backs here and here. This one's quite tight. Yeah, and I would probably have elastics on here just to make it a wee bit easier. And then the door section itself is actually only this quarter of the tent at the end. The rest of it's completely enclosed and cannot be opened into the vestibule. 2 ways up and opens from the top. I'll show you a wee bit closer. So, once you're inside, as I say, it's very low at the door height here. I'm 5'8" and you have to stoop to come in. Once you're in though, way higher inside, gets a lot higher, and actually feels very roomy. So for 1.7 kilos, it's a genuine 2-person tent, as you'll see in the video, and my wife and I slept in it. I'll show you the inside as well, just to give you an idea what that looks like. It's a very strange carbon coated fabric all over the inside here, which does the capturing of the moisture and the transferring of it. So here we are inside the tent. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this in the camera. I'll try and show it in close up. But it has a very strange printed carbon pattern on it, which reminds me of old bed and breakfasts I used to stay in the 70s when I was a kid. Very strange, very dark, which is quite good for a sleep, but slightly, to my mind, a wee bit too dark in terms of I prefer more light coming through my tent. On this side here, which you can't see in this shot, there's normal breathable nylon wall which separates the vestibule from the inside of the tent. I'll show that in just a second. There's only the 1 pocket behind me for storage, which again I would prefer a pocket on either side, particularly when there's 2 of you sharing the tent. There isn't an entrance on this side, so you're going to have to climb over your partner to get out. But it's light enough as a 1-person, so you know, a lot of you may consider using it for 1 person only, but it will easily sleep 2. Looking back out the door here, please excuse the bench, you'll see there is a mesh vent permanently runs across the top. It narrows off to this end and widens out once you close the door, which I'll show you, and the rest of it is just your typical treated white nylon inner wall which separates the vestibule. The vestibule is long but narrow, and you could probably just cook under cover and no more, but I'd say it's a wee bit risky. It's fairly tight, and as I was talking about earlier, there's the pocket, which is quite spacious and would probably take 2 persons kit, but it is all on one side, which makes it slightly more awkward to use. Let me show you the pattern of this material in a wee bit closer detail. So this is it here. You can see the crossing points for the poles. The poles are external in this one. So unlike the rabs, you don't get condensation forming on the metal poles inside. And it has a very simple waterproofed hanging look for a torch there. And the carbon printer you can see is all over it and carries some numbers which I think say 37.5. And there's also something here which I haven't really investigated, but it says 2013 Kokona, whatever that is. This is where the inner door shut. There's a tie back, two-way zip, and it extends round to just about a third of the way along the tent, and the door, as you can see, is still open outside. Okay, with the outer door shut and the inner door open, you can see how you could probably get a stove in here and cook just about safely. You need to store all your gear around the corner here, like rucksack, etc., out the way. Bring it in if you're on your own. I'll show you because it's quite narrow. Hopefully this gives you some impression of the way the vestibule just narrows off towards there, so you can tuck shoes, food and a couple of packs stacked on top of each other. You'll get away with it. We certainly did last night. So two of us slept in it last night in very still, close to freezing conditions, clear skies, no wind. And by the morning the fabric was kind of damp to the touch, but wasn't really dripping, so probably the worst conditions you can get or the best test. And I'd say it performed very well in terms, similar to the event tents that I've had. And considering this apparently is not a big brand treatment of nylon, which Crux and Lightwave use at the moment under their own name X-tex, but I'm told by Carol, who owns Crux and Lightwave, it's not actually their own fabric. However, they, for obvious reasons and commercial reasons, want to try and protect their interest and not make it freely available to other suppliers, or not easily anyway. So yeah, quite impressed with how it works. Big space for the weight. A few detail changes I would certainly make, but it could be used as a one or a two-man tent, and it remains to be seen whether I'll keep it, but I think I should maybe get another couple of tests in and decide. If you've got any questions, just drop me a line.